Good evening. It is I, Rankar. It is my pleasure to be with you in this evening. Once again, you are looking at many changes happening in your life. You have come to a new time, an anniversary, so to speak, and a very short time ago. It was your Independence Day. It was a day in which many people risked their lives by choosing to sign a document declaring their freedom from the monarchy in England or Great Britain, and to not acknowledging him as being their sovereign king. That's saying it was time for them as an individual people to separate themselves. Every day, every year on the 4th of July, you commemorate the signing of this document. And many of you embrace that document and what it has meant in your life. For that document was the first document which started your country on its way to its own sovereign and successful well-being. And why was it successful? It was successful because it guaranteed the freedom to do what each individual thought was best for themselves. And it gave you the opportunity to live the life that you wanted to live as you wanted to live it. Now, why am I talking about this document at this time? Because it embraced a metaphysical fact that when people have the ability to determine their own pathways in life, they make the decisions which bring them the greatest happiness. You all seek to be happy in life. And the methods and the ways by which you choose to be happy are individual to each one of you. For some of you will pursue one career or a different career, different from everyone else. You can choose to be doctors or nurses or teachers or welders or baseball players or mechanics or bricklayers. There are so many different things. You can be secretaries, assistants. You can help people in different ways. And you have the opportunity to try to build your own future in every way. This is a very metaphysical and understandable concept because in every way and every day, you actually build and create the life that you live and the world that you live in. And you may not think that you create your own world, but the truth of the matter is that you do. No two people see the world in the same way. Everyone has a different viewpoint, a different idea, a different interpretation of what is going on. And so some people may choose to make themselves angry about what is going on by saying this shouldn't be, this is bad, and I am unhappy over it. And you see, that is truly the statement that you make. I am unhappy that this thing is happening in my life or is going on in the world around me. Where someone else with the same action and looking at the same situation says, I am happy with this. This is just what I want to have happen. And so, as unbelievable as it may seem, each person has created a world that is quite different from the other person. For one was busy creating happiness by agreeing what they were seeing happening, and the other one was busy creating unhappiness by being disagreeing about what they were seeing happening. And that is a simple example, and you see that all the time. You see it in your communications. You say something, and the person listening to you either hears what you are trying to say or sometimes does not understand what it is you are trying to say. They do not get your point. They simply do not think whatever you are thinking is correct, or they do not understand it at all. And why is that? It is because each and every one of us, each and every one of you, is different. You have all been brought up by different parents in different places. You have been taught different ethics and different ways of thinking. It has been demonstrated by your parents, by your teachers, and those family members around you, including friends. And so you think as you have been indoctrinated to think. And while this is not a deliberate indoctrination, it is merely that people have led by example in your life from the time you were the littlest baby. You were learning from your parents, from the things they said, even when you could not understand what they were saying because you had no language to express it. That understanding came to you at a later time when you did understand language and you do not even remember what your parents said or family members or other people around you. You do not remember it, but it is there in your mind. And it is a guidepost in a sense. It is part of what has made you to think the way that you think. So many influences have gone to creating the person that is you. It makes each and every one of you unique. And as you have all been taught, God gives you free will. He created this creation. He manifested it forth, but he set it on its own way to manifest what it manifests, bring about what it brings about. He may have programmed it in the beginning to manifest certain things, to bring about animals. He saw to it that things came to manifest in such a way, but he gives us free will. And we each are creators. And you could be said that God creates through us because we create the world in which we live. And you create it by your actions, your decisions, your thoughts, your perceptions. What is it that you see? What is it that you understand? What is it that you know? What is it that you believe? All these things shape the world in which you live, and they shape you into the person that you are, and they determine how you interact with the world that is around you. It is you creating the world as you interact with that world around you. And while you may feel powerless, while you may feel you have done nothing, you only need look around you at people you have influenced, for you do influence. Everyone has the power of influence over other people. And you do not do it necessarily by proclaiming your beliefs and trying to force others to believe as you believe, but you do it through your actions, how well you live up to your beliefs. And so recently, having completed this memorial of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, I want you to take this idea of independence with you, knowing that you truly create the world in which you live, that you influence one another for good or for less good or for the greatest good. You all have an influence on how this world manifests. Take that responsibility seriously and think how your actions and what you say and do, how they affect the world. Do you personally bring out the best in the world around you? Do you bring out the best in yourself? And if you do, you probably create happiness in your life. And that is the goal of every incarnation. Are there any questions on what I have spoken of in this evening? Or you did not ask questions on that? You may ask questions on anything you desire. Yes, I hear a question is coming from the Juliet, who is on the phone in front of the medium, and she wants to understand about the science. For she has heard Dr. Fauci talking about the science, and so she is wondering what the science is. And so I will try to explain to her and to anyone who else who may be wondering what he is talking about. The science is a general term. Science is the general term which refers to all the laws of the universe. So that there is something called celestial mechanics. And this is the law of how planets go around the sun and how moons go around planets, how gravity acts and how it affects heavenly bodies so that they interact and move around one another. And that is a part of science. And then there is, of course, many of you have studied in school something called biology, which is the study of life, animals, plants, how they breed, how heredity works, how many things work. And then there is the study of physics. And physics is how, once again, things react with one another. So that it says things like things that are at rest tend to remain at rest, and things that are moving tend to continue to move in a straight line until something stops them or makes them curve. So this is the understanding of how things happen, understanding of gravity. And then there is things called chemistry. All these things are part of science. And chemistry is how the atoms and the molecules and the elements and work together to create life in many cases, how to create energy, how they combine with one another to create new things, new products. So that chemistry works at the building blocks of everything that is in the universe. This is what science is. And I know her question is not just what is science, but why is it that Dr. Fauci and others proclaim, look at the science as a guideline for how you should be behaving? Well, there are many things that your scientists do not know and do not understand. And so their actions, their ideas are not always 100% correct. They construct an idea, which is called a theory. And their theory is that something acts in this way or that way or thus and so. And then they set about doing experiments to see if they can prove that their theory is right. And so this is what I believe Dr. Fauci is referring to. You look at what you believe is the truth, the theories, and you can act on these things, assuming they are true, when they may not be, but they may be true. And you can try to prove these things, but it is observing how things happen and why they, and your idea of why you think they happen. And that is what those people who are proclaiming observe the science are saying. They are saying that this is my conclusion from looking at the science about what is good or what is happening. And you have, over this past year with the virus of COVID-19, that you have been subject to many people's ideas of how it is best to act when there is a virus such as COVID-19, which is making people very, very sick. And what should they do what people should do to keep themselves well, and what they shouldn't do so that they don't make other people sick if they happen to be sick. So that is why people are proclaiming the science, watch the science, follow the science. And this is my idea of how the science works. And so listen to me. It is the way that they make judgments and decisions for you. So I hope that has answered Julia's question and she has more understanding. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Yes, Rankar. Hi, this is Sohan. Rankar, yes, I have. I guess, firstly, I want to thank you for the advice you gave several weeks back. That helped tremendously in my job search. And actually, now it's a little bit too exciting. There are 4 companies I'm interviewing with, and the pace is very fast. And I feel that I will have a lot more clarity and some firm offer probably within 1 or 2 weeks. And so first of all, thank you so much for your guidance. 3 out of the 4 companies were in different locations than where I live, but I applied because they were interesting. So that has worked out well for me.
That is good. That is good. Yes. I can tell you that to apply to other places makes the energy that you are seeking to find
Yes.
a new job more powerful.
Yes. So I guess I have some like final round interview on Thursday and more interviews, I'm sure maybe Friday or next week. Is there any just general word of guidance that you can foresee that will help me?
No, I do not need to give you guidance.
Okay.
You will have to be answering the questions as best as you can. Please
Yes.
express your ideas fully, because that is why they are interested in you, because of your schooling,
Yes.
your experience, your ideas, and that is what they seek to know. So
Right.
it is important for you to have the courage to speak your own ideas and to speak
Yes.
freely.
Yes. And I'll as you guided me in the past, I'll let my excitement be the guide about which opportunity to go with. I'm sure the universe will bring me more clarity as with each experience, and I'm sure it'll be clear when the right opportunity is presented to me.
Yes, I am sure you will be able to figure out that this is the one that I am most excited about.
Yes.
And you will then have to make a decision about whether you choose to embrace it or not, if it involves moving to a new location.
Right.
That will be a very hard decision for you, but I know that you will make the decision that is most correct for yourself. And it is important that you recognize the desires that put you on this job search, why you went on the job search, and whether the offer satisfies those desires that what you were seeking when you began.
Right. Right. Okay. I guess that will become clearer to me maybe when the time comes.
Of course, they will need to tell you what the job entails, what they are expecting of you. You
Right.
need to elicit those questions from them so
Right.
that you can see whether it will fulfill your requirements also.
Right. And Ronker, I guess on another note, you know that Charmy and I are going to have a baby. We just went for a medical checkup yesterday, and we heard the baby's heartbeat, so that was very nice.
How very exciting.
Yeah. Maybe is there any advice or guidance you would like to give um, uh, for a successful pregnancy for Charmy, and for any parenting advice for me and Charmy?
Well, it is quite premature to give you parenting advice.
Yes.
So we will not worry about that. And of course, you know what it takes to have a successful pregnancy, of course, is to continue to eat, have good nutrition so that the baby is well fed with all the vitamins and minerals that go to build a good baby. So
Yes.
follow any dietary guidelines they recommend for yourself to the best of your ability. And I'm sure that everything will be just fine. I believe they give you special vitamins these
Yes.
days, and
Yes.
you take those and allow her to rest and also
Yes.
get exercise and enjoy her life
Yes.
in this time. If she is working and you wish to allow her to continue to work, that will be an excellent thing for her, because you do not want her to be bored.
Yeah.
She is a very smart lady
Yeah.
and needs to exercise her intelligence to be happy.
Right. So she's not working at the moment. I think in the first trimester of the pregnancy, she feels a lot of fatigue, and I'm not sure that she's up to the challenge of a new job at this time. But would you recommend that?
When she is ready,
Yeah.
if she wishes to do it,
Yeah.
I would encourage you to allow her to do it and to help her to achieve a goal if she has one. But
Okay.
otherwise, you have to, you just have to let nature take its course. It will be successful in doing
Right.
so.
What I guess my concern was how she would manage the new job and taking care of the baby. It just seems overwhelming. Uh, and
She will manage.
Yeah.
You always have to make trade-offs and decisions.
Yeah.
And I encourage you to trust Charmy to make the correct decisions for herself.
Okay.
Do not try to influence her. She will know whether she has the time, the energy, whether she wants to go back to work, or whether she just wants to make a nice home and be ready for the baby when it comes.
Right.
Yes, just let her make her own decisions this way.
Okay.
As long as they are for her health.
Right. Okay. Understood.
Yes. Are there other questions that anyone else has for me?
Ron Kaur, I have a question. You
Yes.
started off your lecture to us by saying there'll be many changes in your life. And then you went on to talk about, July 4th, whatever. But what did you mean by many changes?
Yes.
I feel like, I'm getting so much older, and I feel like, there aren't going to be many. I'm getting more in touch with the person I've always been throughout my whole life. And the me that I always talk to and know, and we listen to the universe for advice. And it just seems they're going to be, I don't pay attention to changes anymore, because it seems to be, I kind of seem to be living within myself more and more. And that self is the self I knew when I was 3, when I was 5, when I was 16, when I was 30, when I was 50, etc. So
Yes, I understand. So when I'm saying there are very many changes, there have been recent actions as to your government about many things that affect your life in the long run. And so these things will be quite subtle for a while, and there is the potential for very much greater changes than you are perhaps accustomed to happening. Perhaps new enforcement laws, which may not have been customary in the past. So there'll be just different attitudes, and actually there is going to be quite a bit of, as you have already seen, quite a bit of disharmony within your governments, with people advocating very different ways of looking at things and ways of behaving. So these things will bring about changes in your life. And it is important to recognize that you are the person in control, and that in spite of the changes that are around you, you can make a very happy life simply by determining that this is good and that something is happy. You see, the best way to be happy is to simply state, I am happy, and decide that you are happy over the situation. Or if there is something you do not like, you can remove yourself from the situation, either emotionally, and say, yes, this is going on, but I am not going to be upset by it. I am going to be happy because within my life, I still create things for me that make me happy. And I create peace and harmony. Now, what does that mean to create peace and harmony in your life? Well, it obviously means peace, to not get into fights, arguments with people. Same thing with peace and harmony, to live in harmony with, all right, your idea is different from my idea. You can live your life based on your idea, and I will live my life. And I do not have to be unhappy because you have a different belief than me. I will just take care of my own beliefs and my own way of thinking, and I will be happy with what I make in my life, the way I look at my life, and the way I determine is my greatest happiness. So you have peace and harmony. You may be working still on creating success in your life or prosperity. I'm going to not look at social changes or things like that in my life, but I'm going to concentrate my thoughts on how to become more prosperous and more successful in this world the way it is right now, so that I can be more successful, earn more money, and I can be more prosperous. And I can concentrate on doing the things I like to do. Either I like to paint, I like to exercise, I like to dance, I like to sing. What is it that you like to do? And how can you incorporate these pleasures for yourself into your life? You can concentrate on that. And by doing that, you make your life happier because you do things that you like to do. So that would be termed self-fulfillment. You do things that are fulfilling for yourself. You take actions just because it makes you happy to do what you do. Perhaps you don't have to be appreciated by other people. People don't have to say thank you if you are doing it because it makes you feel good. That is the most important thing, to do things you like to do, to think about thoughts that you like to think, so that you can truly say, I am happy in my life. Yes, there is disharmony in this world. Yes, there are very unhappy people, but I do not have to be unhappy because someone else is unhappy. I can think about my life and know that I am happy, that all is well, because the life I live makes me happy. So you are manifesting the person that you always were more fully in your life. When you are very young, you are highly influenced by your parents and the demands of your parents, the demands of your schools, educations, work life. The older you get, the more independent you can become from those things. And that is true for yourself. And so when you feel confident over who you are, and you base your actions based on the person that you truly are and what you believe,
Mhm.
to bring about the best for yourself, then you live a happy life, a truly happy, successful, prosperous, because prosperity is more than having enough money.
Mhm.
It's having enough of the things that you want or that you enjoy, and
Mhm.
seeing all the good in your life.
Mhm.
Good things make you prosperous, not money.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you so much. That was really beautifully, explained and very hopeful and happy. Happy to know we have the control to bring in all the things that we want in life and enjoy. Yeah, it's great.
Absolutely, you do have that ability,
Yes.
especially when you realize really you are the creator of the world, and most of it you create through your perceptions.
Yes.
So look at your perceptions and see, make sure that your perceptions are such that they allow you to be happy.
Thank you so much, Marco.
You are
Thank you
most
so much.
welcome. Are there other questions?
I have a question. I don't know if
Yes.
you can answer it. This is Doug. I've been seeing a lady friend for some months, and I'm wondering if it's gonna continue in the long run, like long term, or
So I assume
her name
what
is
you have
Joanne.
seen about this lady friend so far has been pleasing to you.
Yes,
Well, good. And then, so
her name
you
is
are
Joanne.
just getting to know one another. And I am not going to say, yes, this relationship will continue, or no, this relationship will not continue. That would deprive you of some free will, deprive you of the control that you really have over the situation. And so you are seeing someone, and at this point in time, you like what you see. This person seems to be, I'm going to say, is kind and generous or thoughtful. She
Yes.
can be fun to be around. She may be prosperous and successful in her life. Um, and you find your thoughts together are compatible. And so it is just to enjoy what you know or what you are doing that is good, that is happening right now. As you take pleasure in the moment and you explore many more things, continue to do things together, and try to support one another in dreams and wishes, and allow yourself to share dreams or ideas. You see, the biggest problem with relationships occasionally is that when you find someone that you like, sometimes you begin to imbue that person with um, qualities they don't actually have. But because they have quality A, you assume that they also have quality B and maybe quality C. And because they have quality D, they certainly have quality F, but you cannot be sure of these things. So you need a time period to become more acquainted with one another. And you are interested in knowing about her, and hopefully she is interested in knowing about you, and that you continue to enjoy one another's company, have good times together, um, have similar goals and aims in life, or ideas on how the world works. And when you're similar, then you can continue to be compatible in many ways. And so I will not tell you whether it's going to work out for you or not, because
I
that
didn't
is
think
what
so.
you must determine for yourself.
Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, we're both widowed for several years or more. So yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, you have both lost your spouses. So
Yeah.
that is something that brings you together and unites you, because after the loss of a spouse, there is always great struggle, um, to adjust your life and to overcome your sorrow and grief. So this is a way that something you have in common, and perhaps you will discover that many of the decisions you made are similar to decisions she made, which bring you even closer together, and just to allow the relationship to continue. You know, it could be a relationship that continues for the rest of your life, even though you may not decide that this is a person that you want to marry. You may not wish to merge your finances, the facts that you have children, whether your families get along. There are many issues when you are dealing as an older person with what is going on in your life. And so it may be just that this person is perfect for you just the way she is, without bringing the relationship into a marriage. So just look at the relationship and the kind of person she is, and what you can share and enjoy together, and you will be happy. That is what is most important. You will be happy with the relationship.
Right.
And if it progresses to a point where you wish to make commitments to one another, you will know it, and you will see that it is the right thing for yourself.
Okay, thank you very much.
You are most welcome. Are there other questions? Are there any other questions?
It's about 8:30, so it would be good to end early.
All right. As there are no other questions, no one is speaking up. And as we wish to end early, it is a desire to end early, to allow the medium all the time she needs, and to get to bed early for her own best interests and health. I think then I will say good night. And I thank you all for being with me in this evening. And I hope you enjoyed our evening together. I give you all my blessings. Good night.
Thank you so much.
Good night. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Good night.
I'm back. Hi, everybody. Well, it's time for me to come in and say goodnight too, because I always like to say goodnight to everyone. Remember, I love you all. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.